when we're not making shots, or we go through a 5 minute scoreless stretch where we don't get a field goal. How do you win those games? How do the best teams in the NBA win those games? Well, they do it by, um,
That was, and he
finding
crossed
different
the line
ways to
the
have
other night
success, to impact
in
the
a
game, to manufacture a win. You can do it um, mainly with your defense. So when you go
that
through a 4 minute scoreless stretch
everybody
where you don't
would
have a field goal,
um,
you find a way to get stops. Maybe it's through terrific rebounding, and it's through that tough.
this is not an easy decision. We feel like this is the best decision we can make going forward, and I trust Draymond that he will, stay on that edge and not go over it.
You spoke about having to rebuild, the culture and the trust. And I guess it's kind of a fault to that because Draymond does bring a lot of fire. Is there any concern or thought on how he brings that fire and how that might now be received if, players see him, especially new players that haven't been here for his entire
I
career?
think that's a huge part of this. We've got all these young guys out there. They don't know him, and they, the vets, they understand Draymond. The young guys are just getting to know him, and Draymond has to build relationships with those guys, and that's a big part of this process. And I will let Draymond speak for himself on that, because it's really a question for him. But as the coach, as um, the one who presides over all this, I am going to pay close attention to our young players and how they look at Draymond and the mentoring, and because it's crucial for our team this year and going forward.
Are you guys still investigating the cause of the leak or
Yes.
the video leak?
Yeah.
Do you feel close on that? Are you going to announce that publicly?
Yeah, that won't be anything that that I'll discuss.
Gotcha.
Coach, ring night is 1 week from tonight. How much did that play a factor in the decision wanting to have everybody on hand in a celebration next week?
Again, we just sort of took everything in the totality. It was not something that Bob and I talked a lot about. It was more, all the discussions that we had with the players, and that especially the players had amongst themselves. And so this was really a group decision with our key guys, with our veteran players who have been around for a long time. They needed to be ready to move forward, and they're ready. So that was the consideration.
Steve, how critical was Kevon Looney in the decision making process and the kind of leadership that you needed with Draymond not being in there?
Loon is incredible. This guy has so much wisdom. He's so quiet that if you don't pay attention, you may not realize that he has become the moral compass of our team. He's a special human being, special. And he was a key instrument in everything that we've had going the last week to try to, get things back on track. I'll ride with Loon forever. This is a special man.
Steve, was suspension on the table even in the last few days? Was that something discussed, or was that kind of put off that you weren't going to do that fairly early on?
Everything was on the table, but I think the biggest thing was we needed time to breathe. This was really raw the first couple of days. I think, in hindsight, we could have done some things differently, in the first couple of days, and just to get everybody away from the gym and calm down a little bit. But I think what we all needed was to step away and then start connecting and start really talking, and that was what we did.
Coach, moving forward, you had a dominating performance tonight. Your new free agent acquisition, JaMychal Green, had a great game. Your young players had great games. Your thoughts?
Beautiful night of basketball. Really fun to watch. Ron Adams grabbed me on the walk down the stairs, and he said, "This is an amazing group of young players," and it really is top to bottom. We have so many good guys here in training camp. Our front office, Kent Lacob, his whole group, who do most of the scouting for our free agent camp players and Santa Cruz players. They've nailed these guys. Really, a wonderful group of players. And tonight was just fun to watch. The ball was moving, players were moving. Beautiful basketball.
Coach, what has Draymond been doing? I heard he's been working out on his own, but what can you give some input on what he's been doing? And is there any worry that once you guys leave Chase Center, once you go on the road, that you're probably going to hear some stuff that is going to constantly just bring this back?
Yeah, that will be nothing new for Draymond. So, he's been working out every day, coming in, in the afternoons after the team has gone and getting his work in, getting his conditioning. And he came into camp in good shape. Had a great first week. The 2 games in Tokyo, he was fantastic. And then all hell broke loose. So, we have to pick up the pieces, and that's what we're doing.
Last week, Monty asked you about your level of trust with Draymond, and you said no comment.
Yeah.
Pretty pointedly.
Yeah.
I'll ask you now, what's your level of trust with Draymond?
I think, the reason I was sort of pointed and saying no comment is because I didn't want to talk about anything that was private with our team because everything was so raw. That wasn't a no comment, meaning a slight at Draymond. And I realized as soon as I said it, I said, oh, that was the wrong thing to say, because a no comment sometimes has sort of a hidden meaning behind it, or a not so hidden meaning. My no comment was, I'm not talking about this. I was so angry about the leak. I was so angry that everything made it out because, as I said, that creates the firestorm. If you're able to handle things internally, it's just much easier. So I was angry about the leak, and that was the gist of the no comment. So the second part of the question, I'll go back to, Draymond and I have been together for 8 years. We've had plenty of run-ins. We've won championships together. We've lost championships together. We've been through an awful lot together. I trust him. He broke our trust with this incident, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I think he's earned that. And I think our team feels the same way. So he knows he needs to regain that.
Steve, you've talked about the depth on this team, and Draymond is obviously a big part of that, and been one guy who's been a tutor to many of these young guys. Going forward, though, what do you think you have with the guys coming off the bench behind Steph, Clay, Draymond?
We got a whole bunch of good players, and it's going to have to sort itself out in terms of what the rotation looks like. We haven't seen Clay yet. Draymond's missed the last couple of games. But you look out there tonight, what Dante DiVincenzo can play. Moses Moody can play. James and JK have come so far in the last year. It's really exciting. And then you get, JaMychal, who's a proven pro, who can knock down threes and great rebounder, tough defender. We got a bunch of depth, and I'm confident that it will sort itself out because over the 82 game season, everybody eventually gets their chance. And we're going to keep working with our young guys, regardless of how much playing time they get. They're going to be developing every single day in practice too. Thank you, guys.
Well, again, the most anticipated preseason post-game press conference any of us could ever remember. Steve Kerr just said that any criticism we receive is fair. The floodgates are going to be wide open. Draymond Green, for punching Jordan Poole, his teammate, knocking him to the ground, is not receiving any suspension. Steve Kerr said Draymond is expected to be back at practice on Thursday. He's expected to play in the preseason finale on Friday and to be with his team to receive their championship rings and play against the Lakers on Tuesday night. With Greg Anthony, I'm Jared Greenberg. Thanks for sticking with us. It is just a minute before 1 a.m. Eastern time, as the world of basketball really has been riveted by this story, wondering what the outcome would be. Steve Kerr said when the team got back from Japan, all hell broke loose. Obviously with the fight and then with the leak of the video, which is really so unique about this entire process. Steve Kerr called this the biggest crisis this team has faced since he has been the head coach. With that said, the biggest crisis he has faced will receive no repercussion in terms of games missed for Draymond Green.
I got to be honest, I was shocked by that. And I do understand what Steve is saying. And I will say this. One, he's been through this experience a significant amount of times. And typically you don't see suspensions for altercations in practice. But you also typically don't see the video evidence of that fight. And so I think that is what, for those who feel like this is maybe a little lenient, they're going to lean on. I will also be interested to hear how the league responds to this, because they do also have the authority if they decide to step in. And that could possibly happen. And quite honestly, to play devil's advocate, if you were the Warriors, that would be best case scenario, because then it takes you off the hook.
That's an interesting way to look at it. The league, according to the league bylaws, does have the opportunity to take action based on what happens, not only in games, but practices. And obviously, as we know, off court, typically in practice scenarios where there are altercations, they let teams handle that in-house. He will be fined, but by my understanding of how the bylaws are written, the maximum amount of fine, maximum amount of money the Warriors can fine a player for conduct detrimental to the team is $50,000. For a player making more than $25 million this year, that is not even a slap on the wrist. I think a couple of questions for me still looming, even though Steve Kerr, I think, did a really nice job of being forthright, honest, and taking questions. Nobody does this better than the Warriors organization when it comes to working with the media. But a couple of things. Number one is, are they more upset about the incident or about the fact that it leaked out, that the tape got out? And then number two is that Steve Kerr, again, called it the biggest crisis and also said it was worse than the incident that he had in that Memphis game with Kevin Durant, which resulted in a one-game suspension for Draymond. So that resulted where there were no punches thrown, but that altercation with Kevin Durant resulted in a one-game suspension. Steve Kerr admitted it was a worse incident with Jordan Poole, but yet no suspension.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily add up. And I honestly still got to let this digest. I'm still somewhat shocked that there wasn't some type of a suspension. And again, this is not that we dislike Draymond or want him to be punished. This is more about the actual action and the fact that the entire world has seen it. Kids have seen this, who play basketball, who play other sports. And sometimes even with good intentions, you can send the wrong message. It's not always just about you and how it affects you. It's about those who are watching, admire, and look up to you and how they deal with this moving forward.
We have to try to regenerate the vibe that we need. That's what Steve Kerr said as he announced just moments ago live here on NBA TV that Draymond Green will not be suspended. He will be fined an undisclosed amount, and he's expected to return to the team on Thursday for practice, play in the preseason finale on Friday, and then be there to receive his ring and play against the Lakers on Tuesday night. We will have much more on this story and hear from Steve Kerr if you missed it coming up on Game Time Plus. The number one pick in the draft, Paolo Banchero, makes his home pro debut. We'll see highlights of that coming up next.
Put on your fancy pants and sashay into Little Caesars for the Fanceroni Pepperoni. With over 100 crispy old-world pepperoni and cheesy crust edge, you'll be saying fancy words like indubitably or crochet. Walk in and walk out for only $9.99.
Pizza. Some things leave you guessing. MailChimp takes the guesswork out of email marketing by analyzing data from billions of emails to offer suggestions for how to improve engagement and revenue. Guess less and sell more with Intuit MailChimp.
When selling your home, one wrong move can cost you thousands of dollars. You need a top real estate agent who will do things right. Sell your home fast and at a great price. Introducing HomeLight, the breakthrough way to sell your home. HomeLight has detailed stats on the top real estate agents and home sales in your neighborhood. Nearly 1 million people have used HomeLight to find experienced agents they can trust to sell their homes faster and for more money. Start for free at HomeLight.com.
If Damian Lillard accepted his spot at the end of the bench, he never would have been at the rec center before it opened. If he listened to those who overlooked him, he never would have heard his name called as a first-round pick. And if he let 6 all-star selections go to his head, he never would have had the heart to give back to the streets that shaped him. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
Look, the world is a big place where beauty takes many forms. Stories have many sides, and truth finds its way through the camera's lens. For more than 25 years, we've reflected the world as it is and captured the beauty of what it can be. Our 3 unique brands have one distinct goal: to move the world. Just take a look.
Do it again. You got it.
People assume these photo shoots are easy. Just like they assume they can't afford great insurance. But State Farm has rates that fit any budget.
Gorgeous.
What?
Can I get a profile?
All in the core. For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
NBA TV travels to the Motor City for a preseason matchup between the Grizzlies and Pistons. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies bring the smoke as they take on future star Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. Grizzlies-Pistons, Thursday at 7 p.m. on NBA TV.
Bad summer for the Hornets has rolled into a bad preseason. LaMelo Ball reportedly may miss the start of the regular season, according to Shams Charania of The Athletic. That is because the team announced earlier on Tuesday that he has a grade 2 left ankle sprain following an MRI. LaMelo could be out for an indefinite period of time. We'll keep you updated on that story. All right, let's go to the Grizzlies and Magic. Ja Morant playing against the number 1 pick, Paolo Banchero, his first ever professional game at Amway Center. Here we go with Paolo. He had 15 in the first half, GA.
He was terrific, really active as well, and the ability to play both on the perimeter and in the interior.
Franz Wagner expecting a big sophomore campaign. And then how about this guy, Cole Anthony?
Yeah, good shot there, good ball movement. And I tell you, it was one of the better first halves that the Magic have played thus far in the preseason.
Best head of hair in the Anthony family, too.
No doubt.
Ja Morant doing Ja things. 3 defenders, get out of the way. Desmond Bane, offensive star in this game with 28.
Yeah, the question about this Grizzlies team is who can take another step. I tell you what, he's looking like he's ready after a great season last year.
Ja Morant this time beats 4 Magic defenders for the lay-in.
That sounds surprised.
A 1-point game. Hey, Wendell Carter Jr. going to get that starting center spot, bucket and the foul. And Franz Wagner, he had 14 and 10. Banchero finished with 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting, and 9 rebounds. The Bucks and the Bulls. Hey, Billy Donovan saying Ayo Dosunmu is going to be the regular season starting point guard while Lonzo Ball recovers.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's a young man that is going to continue to get better defensive versatility and improved offensively.
Defense, Andre Drummond saying, get out of here, Rook. Marjon Beauchamp denied. Andre Drummond more than just a 3-point shooter these days. Alex Caruso to Patrick Williams getting his first preseason start.
And that's another young man that's got to show some growth this season for the Bulls.
Derrick Jones Jr. battling with Patrick Williams for that starting power forward spot. We go to the third quarter where it's Nikola Vucevic, who's talking about being more in the paint this year. This time, though, he hits the three.
Yeah, I think you're going to see him have a much better year now that he's got a full season under his belt and understands how he's going to be utilized.
Drummond 16-9, 0 for 1 from three, by the way. 3 of 3 last game from downtown.
Lights out.
Jaden Ivey for the Pistons. Here's Marvin Bagley. That's bad news for Detroit.
Good. Oh, my goodness.
He left the game with an apparent knee injury, non-contact injury. No update as of now. Dwayne Casey expects to have more of an update on Wednesday. Cade Cunningham, he drives and scores. How about Josh Giddey? Really, there's going to be a lot on his shoulders with no SGA and no Chet Holmgren for the time being.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's also much more aggressive to score it offensively and a great passer.
Here comes Cade. Said he put on 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason from plays like that.
It showed on that possession.
Ivy, the sneaky steal. Sadiq Bey. Pistons were up by 3 at the half. Let's get giddy with it. Nice move there, and he finds Trey Mann from downtown. Not pictured. Killian Hayes, 4 of 6 from 3, 20 points. That's big for Detroit. We come back with the unique road to the NBA Matt Ryan has taken. And will he make the final roster spot for the Lakers?
It is so good to be back, y'all.
Some things never change. Oh no, you're still my all-time favorite.
This is must-see TV. Are you not entertained?
Too much fun, telling you we ain't come to done.
Best show on television. What do you think, Chuck? Yes, we are.
They said I have to take tests when they tell me to.
They said my degree would cost a fortune, but I didn't have to listen to them because I have a university that listens to me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the University of You.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Over 100 million Americans have a low credit score. Self is a new way to build credit that doesn't require a credit score. Plus, Self helps you save money every month and reports your payments to all 3 credit bureaus. Download the app today.
We've obtained documents revealing that Carl's Jr. and Hardee's have Charbroil double deals starting at $2.99 each.
Can I take a closer look?
Bite into these double deals starting at $2.99 each at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Teaching her how to drive. But Dad, why not use Greenlight to help her save for her own car? Mowing lawns, getting paid. Oh, smoothies. Is that strawberry? Soon, she'll go from washing your car to flexing with her own. Even better, teach her how to invest in cars. Together, you can navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing. Because when you teach her how to be smart about money, she'll go far. Real far. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
I was paying for in-flight Wi-Fi for months before I finally caught it. Rocket Money uncovers hidden subscriptions and notifies you when a charge is upcoming. From there, you decide if you want that service. And if not, cancel it right from the app with one tap. Download Rocket Money, the money app that works for you.
Playing on a non-guaranteed training camp contract, Matt Ryan was on fire this past Sunday, hitting 6 of 9 from downtown, scoring 20 points for the Lakers. LA needs more shooting, and maybe he's got a shot to make the team. As we learn in episode 3 of the offseason, his journey to the preseason has been a long road.
My whole life, I only wanted to do one thing, was play in the NBA. So, like, no matter what happened, I was going to go until either that happened or it didn't. You know, every single day was just a desperate attempt to be so ready for the opportunity that, you know, I would kill it when it came. I'm Matt Ryan, and this is the off season.
Ryan, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, keeps it up. Good! Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's pretty emotional. It's been crazy 11 months. I was home for a year and a half, and
it was just such an interesting year. March 2020 is when my college career ended, right when COVID hits, right? So I don't get the pre-draft process of doing all the workouts. I don't get a summer league. I come home, you know, summer 2020, and then I'm literally home in Westchester, New York, all the way until the G League bubble of end of the winter 2021. And so when I didn't get in that, I'm like, my goodness, I've been home working out for like, I don't know, 9-10 months now. Let me at least do something else throughout my day besides just going to the gym and coming home. And I was at this diner, you know, with my grandparents, and I said, hey, Pop, like, if you guys need help over there, let me know. So we put in a call, and then Frank, who's the boss over here, you know, I got on the phone with him, and he said, you know, come down, I can use the help.
The business was founded by my grandfather, 1900, like I said, and good enough to my father, my brother, and myself, and basically my son. He's the owner, and he runs the place. And you know, we do monuments. As a kid, I remember with a baseball bat, baseball, football, and basketball. You hit the ball down in the end of the yard, football, throw it down in the basketball, take a shot, couple of shots. Go get the other balls, hit them back, you know, kick them back one or the other, get the basketball, more shots. How do you do that? As a kid, what kid does that? You work hard, so hope it all pay off.
Every single day for the whole time I was home, you know, we were just working out 6 hours a day and pretty much not doing anything else.
I just got in a habit and a routine of every day, you know, I need to go out there and work hard because tomorrow I might have to go work out for the Celtics or the Knicks or the Lakers. You never know. The daily routine of doing that for a year and a half, convincing myself that Brad Stevens was sitting in that gym with me, evaluating every shot I took, just had me overly prepared for when I finally got the chance last August in Vegas with Cleveland.
Look at the passion. This is Summer League.
Then going from Cleveland to Denver to Grand Rapids. And like that whole time, like we're just waiting. I hadn't gotten a call up. Like there was other guys, you know, getting stuff and I wasn't.
But it was heartbreaking. Like, when's it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And he would I don't know if he told you, what are you going to do if it doesn't happen? Well, he went to school for finance and economics. So he took these other jobs because he didn't want to take a job in a big firm or something just in case the call came.
And my agent was, you know, had been talking to Boston for a few weeks. And we were just, you know, waiting. And then I go to Team USA the last week of February, and had a couple of good games. And then that night, I got off the phone with Brad, and I was flying to Boston that night to sign the contract the next day.
That was amazing.
That was like
we were all crying.
That was like the most probably emotional.
Cries very.
Yeah, he's soft, but that's where I get it from. That was like, damn, you're a part of, you know, you're
even his USA coach got emotional because he got so emotional.
Coach Boylan, who was my coach at Team USA, saw me just crying my eyes out, and I lifted my head up, and he saw me crying, and he just started crying too. He's like, you made it, you made it. That was a moment where I completely lost my emotions for a couple minutes. It's just because you just realize, you know, how far you've come, and you're just climbing and reaching all these goals that you're setting for yourself. So as they were happening in real time, it just like gets emotional. And I hope I have a dozen more of those moments where it's just like, damn, you just cry because you're just achieving something that you want so bad.
And not a foul on pause. Here's Ryan, and he's finally got one down. All the bench is going nuts. I love it. I do too.
You know, the G League and Summer League changed my life, and being around Jason, Jalen, Marcus, Al, these guys of that caliber, I knew I belonged on this team. I knew I wasn't ready to have a role on that team, but I knew I belonged with these guys in practice every day, going on that playoff journey. It's only given me so much confidence that I could play at this level. Now I just need the opportunity. I think I've been through so much damn adversity in just like my basketball life. This past year was almost a about damn time feeling. Why would I change the mentality I had the past 2 years if it's gotten me this far? Now we're just waiting for that contract to come.
So, unbelievable story right there by Matt Ryan. And that contract has come in the form of a non-guaranteed deal with the Lakers. But Darvin Ham, the head coach of LA, said after Sunday's performance where Matt hit 6 threes, that he may have earned himself a spot on the roster. LA has one roster spot open, and they need shooting.
I was just about to say we know about the issues they had offensively last year and defensively for that matter. And his shooting, I think, will be a big boon for them. And remember, you play 82 games and you got an older roster, you're going to have significant opportunities to have an impact on winning if you're Matt Ryan. And so I think this is a really good situation for him. Then the key is to just learn how to play off those great players because they draw so much attention. If you know how to play without it, you're going to get a lot of good looks. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And you're going to create space out there for them. So he may have found the perfect fit for his skill set in the NBA.
You ever a grave digger?
I have not dug graves. No. That's and I don't really know anybody.
You sure? How do you know I haven't?
Have you dug graves?
Have you seen these hands?
No,
do they
you
look like
No, you haven't.
Well, good luck to Matt Ryan. Lakers back in action on Wednesday night. We've got much more to do on this here edition of Game Time. When we come back, celebrating an anniversary, one that Matt Ryan wasn't a part of. I believe we were still in the bubble 2 years ago on this date. Getting PTSD right now, guys. Why are you doing this to me?
The NBA is BACK, meaning everyone everywhere is about to go OFF.
Time for another run.
No sleep till repeat.
We don't have too much time for a history lesson. Yes, we do. This is season 76.
Try 77.
Brand new year, same old hope.
This our year.
Nah, this is our year.
What's happening next is happening now. And this game isn't leaving anybody behind.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it takes stunning photos in the dark, can edit annoying items out of pictures, and unblur faces. Why, it'll even put some of that genius in your ears or on your wrist. Beautifully, of course. Introducing the new Google Pixel Watch, Google Pixel Buds Pro, and our newest Google Pixel phones. Get up to $750 off any Google Pixel 7 phone with eligible trade-in.
This winter, make sure your tires are ready for adventure. Right now at Midas, buy 3 Cooper tires and get 1 free. Schedule your tire appointment at Midas.com.
So Wendy's Biggie Bag is all this food for just $5, and we're not calling it the Reggie Bag?
Oh, no,
What if it's the Reggie Bush?
definitely not.
The Biggie number 5 Bush?
No way.
Reggie Bush number 5 bag.
Oh, no.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag.
In the next second, 14 families will decide.
That's it. We're getting a bigger house.
Finally.
We gotta sell this place.
Before we buy the next place.
And then in the meantime,
So how long are you staying?
Emily, no.
oh, a little cramped.
I am C-Pop Mom.
Or skip the in-laws. Sell and buy your house with confidence with Open Door. Move when you're ready.
That's it.
Indeed. Get your free offer at opendoor.com. Look, the world is a big place where beauty takes many forms. Stories have many sides, and truth finds its way through the camera's lens. For more than 25 years, we've reflected the world as it is and captured the beauty of what it can be. Our 3 unique brands have one distinct goal: to move the world. Just take a look.
Final highlight from Tuesday's preseason action. Colin Sexton and the New Look Jazz taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Here is Sexton. And how about Keldon Johnson? Interesting year for him as the Spurs rebuild.
Yeah, both teams trying to figure out if Victor's going to be on their team next year. These are going to be really riveting games all season long. Who's going to get the most ping pong balls, baby?
Sexton there, then Johnson. He had 22 points. More from Keldon Johnson again. These guys are playing to win on the court.
Oh, listen, the competitive spirit will exist.
Yep.
It's just when you compare them to the other 13 teams in the conference.
Oh, that's no good. But Devin Vassell there for 2 of his 24.
I think he has a breakout year. I think he still has it.
On this date in NBA history, 2 years ago, feels like 7, LeBron wins his 4th chip inside the NBA bubble. Lakers win the title.
This is 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
weren't you there almost 2 years?
3 years I was there for, actually. Yeah. See, as LeBron and everybody celebrated, I was still going through the protocols and all that. You were in
that's
the
not
outer
true.
bubble.
You were celebrating when they were celebrating because you knew you got to go home.
Oh, yeah. We had a big party, actually, inside the bubble. That I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about that? Yeah. More than 93, 95 days in the bubble. That was a lot of fun.
You know what? I tip my cap to you. That's impressive to go that long.
I also tip my cap.
Did you have a barber?
We did. After a while, after about the first 3-4 weeks of it.
Okay.
People want to put an asterisk on that? No, it was harder to win that championship. All right, much more on Game Time, and check us out on NBA.com. All right, did you see last night LaMelo Ball injured his ankle, left the game, did not return, had an MRI today. His MRI, according to Shams Charania here, grade 2 left ankle sprain, and Shams is reporting that he's expected to miss time to start the regular season. The Hornets open up play next Wednesday in San Antonio. We've got preseason action tonight on NBA TV. Good matchup in terms of the starters are going to play here. This is good for us.
Yeah, guys are getting close to the start of the season, so you want to start getting into regular season form.
Terrence Ross, I think he's been on the Magic since you have been retired, right? He's been there 17 years?
I think the year before I retired. Right. That's cool.
Listen, Ja Morant, not only we know he can be electrifying, but he's got to make his teammates better too, right? That's a big part of his step forward and watching that outside shot this year.
Yeah, it looks like he's put a lot of work in on that three-point shot, which will have to be improved. I think a big key for them also is going to be Dillon Brooks. I think if he can take a step in terms of his efficiency offensively, we know the edge he plays with and how tough he is defensively. But I think the key for this team is, will they be elite offensively as the season progresses?
Yeah, we saw Dillon kind of roller coaster towards the end of the season, obviously suffered some injuries. There is the best beard on an NBA bench.
The beard.
Taylor Jenkins. And there is the jaw dropper. Ja Morant going up against Paolo Banchero, his first ever game in the city of Orlando as a professional. We'll see you back here at halftime. Enjoy the call from David Steele and Jeff Turner. You're watching live preseason basketball on NBA TV.
performance in Dallas last week. 19 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. It just feels like the game is slowing down a little bit for him already, Jeff. And that's the challenge for a young player in this league, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's more like the game slowing down mentally for him, making quick decisions, reading defenses. The talent is all there. It's not overwhelming to him.
Steven Adams, the opening tap with Wendell, and Orlando controls the tip. In the backcourt, it's Anthony and Ross. Of course, the Magic suffering preseason injuries. Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, all unavailable with injury. There's a nice play right out of the gate. The lob to Wendell Carter Jr. from Franz Wagner.
Really, you're going to see Franz Wagner handling the basketball quite a bit. They want to let him run things through him, be a playmaker out there.
And the opportunity is there, especially with the injuries to Fultz and Suggs in the backcourt. Here's Morant. Well defended at the basket by Carter.
That's what we talked about in the pregame. That's what you're going to see. John Morant going downhill, attacking the basket every possession.
And Caro guarded by Aldama. Knocks down an elbow jumper to give the Magic an early 4-0 lead.
Just a